Welcome to this new episode of Inspirations. That's my podcast about knitting, yarn dyeing. My name is Christelle. My business is Tricot Stitch. I am a indie dyer. I live and work from Normandy. And you can find me on YouTube every Monday at 5 p.m. Paris time. There is a newsletter sent out at the same time, and there is a shop update usually on Mondays at the same time. But if you don't want to miss an update and you want to know what's going on at Tricot Stitch, you can subscribe to the newsletter. It's only sent out once a week and it gives you all the useful information. So I hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for joining me if you're new here. If you're a returning viewer, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me for another episode. This is season 6, episode 19, and I'm very happy to be back with you for another week. So you were so nice and kind not to tell me I looked like a cadaver last week when I edited the podcast. I was like, oh my god, I look so tired. And I was definitely very, very, very tired. I was exhausted because I think I went very deep in myself to find resources and energy to make sure I was, managing this whole project of moving and all. And then when it was time to, empty all the boxes at home and make sure the house was functioning like proper functions, like being able to cook and wash laundry and these very basic things like this, it took so much energy. And then after that, right after all that, after moving, after the fiber shows, after unpacking everything, and we thought it would be a good idea not to rest, but to have a gigantic party, to have friends over it was not last weekend. And to have a giganormous party, like a barbecue thing, outside with our friends and family and even our neighbors, our new neighbors, just for, like a welcoming and housewarming party and welcoming party. And it was absolutely great to have our friends over and to have this party. It was awesome. But my energy levels were like bottom. And there was two things actually. Being with our friends, we didn't really sleep well. We went to bed very late. Not the most healthiest of diet for a couple of days. A bit of booze and all. And so a bit tired. And then the barbecue day, it was typically normal weather, which is heavy rains and winds. And so I have this picture of my husband grilling the meat, the barbecue. It was outside. There was this tent thing above him to shelter him from the elements. Okay, and he was like with his coat on, the thing is like this, just to protect him from the rain and the cold and the wind, because it was not only raining and windy, it was cold as well. You could here in Normandy these days, you could say it's November, okay? It's not feeling like July at all. And he had a friend with him, just, for moral support. And everybody was inside. It was a bit crowded, okay? And I had just had the most difficult, and exhausting time just putting everything away and cleaning everything and having everything, very pretty and tidy for our guests. And we had like 10 kids in there storming the place with a lot of adults who didn't know where to sit really, because we didn't plan on having this thing inside. It was not the plan, okay? And so it was like in between, I was happy to have everybody, but I was horrified by my hard work. We'll have to do everything again, and the rain and the wind on the windows was like, oh my god, it was so, everything was like moist from the humidity. And yeah, it was an epic day, epic housewarming party ever, the worst barbecue I've ever hosted, okay? And I'd say it started around 4. Energy level like 0. It's like when your smartphone is dead. Okay, it was like that for me. It was like, and when people wanted me to answer, they had to move me a bit. I was like, yeah, okay. But I was tired. I was knackered. Okay, and then the week after, so that was on the Sunday, okay? And my plan, the week after, I'm always very ambitious. I wanted to dye every day and back to my normal producing self and dye the same quantity as I dye all the time, which is close to 50 skeins a day. And I was like, yeah, and no. No. Monday I started with, no, not Monday. That was Tuesday. No, not Tuesday. Wednesday? Yeah, a bit. A third. Okay, it was difficult. And then on Thursday, yeah, Friday, yeah. And it was super hard. I mean, physically I was not there yet. But I did it. And I think that next week is going to be better. And I feel already better. I'm not, because I was okay in the morning. I'm a morning person, okay? I don't have any trouble waking up at 6:30 a.m. and having my day and everything. I actually wake up naturally around that time. But don't ask me anything after 9, okay? I'm not there. You as if I'm not there, okay? And the last week, it was like that from around 6 p.m. 6 p.m. I was ready to go to bed. It was awful. And so the colorway for this month. You might have noticed a difference if you've watched the episode from last week. I have this childhood love for My Little Pony, but the first ones, the ones that were out in the 80s, okay, not the latest things. I don't like them, they're ugly. No, the very first ones, okay, the one that are a bit chubby, the ones I love and I had as a kid. And I had quite the collection when I was a kid. I didn't, take care of it when I was an adult, and told my mother she could sell it everything on, foire à tout, which I don't know the name. It's when you put your things outside and people come and buy them for quite nothing. So she did, and now my adult self is crying inside because I wished I had kept them, okay? So she didn't sell the actual ponies that I always said no, but she sold all the houses, all the accessories, all those things. So I kept the ponies because they were like so real to me when I was a kid. They had names, they had personalities, so I kept them, okay? But all the other stuff are gone. And I had such a beautiful and big collection. So it's my mission now as an adult to put together back my collection, one item after one item. Anyway, there is actually new ponies. Well, not new ponies, but they are, selling again the same ponies as in the 80s as a anniversary collection. So I jumped on the bandwagon 5 years ago, and I started, buying them when they were going out. So that's not much, maybe 10 per year, something like that. But I really had, this little bit of money that I wanted to use to build up my collection again. And I've been doing that. And I mean, it's quite regressive and all, but it gives me so much joy. I cannot explain why, but it really gives me well-being and joy and happiness, and just watching them, little guys over there, you see? Because I had that collection when we moved. I didn't know where to put them in your new house, because in the previous house, we had a room that we decided to give to the children for their toys and everything, like a salle de jeu, and there was a space in there that I could use to put my ponies, and they were like at home there because there was a lot of toys everywhere. But in the new home, we don't have that room, that spare room, so I don't know where to put them. I didn't want to put them in the living room. I could. My husband would not have said no. He was okay with that, but I didn't want to have them in the living room. So I decided to put them here. I mean, it's absolutely perfect because they're quite the inspiration in terms of colors. And again, they make me happy. So it's cool. So I decided to not base the colorway for this month on a mood board like I usually do, but I decided to use ponies instead. So for the Almanac colorway proper, I decided to use 4 of them. I'm going to show you which ones. So the first one is this one. His name is Surprise, and you see this beautiful white with neon yellow hair, and that one I didn't have when I was a kid, because, you know, having a collection back then we didn't have much money. It's a collection that I built over the years because I asked only for that at Christmas and birthdays for years and years and years. So I didn't have them all. And also there was the time factor, because when one pony was out and or a set of ponies was out and it was not the time for my birthday or Christmas, I couldn't have them, okay? And once they were gone, they were gone. So that's why some of them I didn't have at all. My friends did. I was longing for them. So that's typically one I was so longing for when I was a kid, and that I was able to get when I was an adult. Yeah. So this is the one that was, sold very recently. I also have the vintage version of this one that I bought that is actually my age, okay? That one might be the most known of all ponies. It's Applejack, it's pomme in French, apple. And this one was actually one of my very favorite when I was a kid. I had this one when I was a kid. Then another one that I didn't have, but I dreamt about for years, was this one of the very firsts. It's called Snuzzle in English, and it's Perle en français, in French. And I loved her to pieces, but I didn't have her, but I loved her so much. Again, friends hide her. Friends that started collecting them before I did. Because when they went out for the first time, I think it was beginning of the 80s, and I was still a little kid, not old enough to collect them. And when I was old enough, there was already a lot of them out already and not available, not on the market anymore. So I didn't have the very first ones, but older friends of mine did. And the last one is actually the coolest there is. This is Applejack, but from the upside down. You know, there was a My Little Pony / Stranger Things crossover in season 2 with the youngest sister of one of the heroes saying that she was an epic My Little Pony fan. And actually the people who decided to do the anniversary collections decided to have this very, special edition. It's the upside down version of Applejack, and I love it so much. It's so cool. I mean, it's the coolest thing, right? You see, the exact same. Even the little things on his behind are upside down. I love it. I love them so much. So yeah, those are the 4 ponies that I chose for the inspirations for the colorway this month. Okay, so it's very personal. What I love about that is a bit like a challenge for me, because I didn't choose the colors. As a dyer, I worked with some, you know, constraints here because I had to work with the colors of the ponies. But I tried to, once I had those colors, those obligatory colors, I decided to throw in my, you know, my savoir-faire and to make it a colorway that works and that is harmonious and that's beautiful. So I added a lot of little touches and things just to give it life and make it beautiful. So here's the colorway. It's called Pref de Pref, which is short in French for préféré de préféré. Pref de Pref is the favorite of the favorites. Okay, that's the meaning, Pref de Pref. And here's the colorway, and you can see the different elements of each pony in there. If I take, for example, this beautiful lurex with sparkle, as should be for a pony, I mean, you can definitely have sparkle. You have the neon yellow of the hair of Surprise. You have that color is for the Stranger Things version of Applejack. You have Applejack here and his mane here, and this is Nuzzle here, and yeah, and just here with a very delicate pink. And there is also a bit of intense purple, because if you look closely you'll see that on Surprise the drawings on his behind are purple. Well, I decided to be very, very close to the inspiration and then go a bit wild with the speckles just to give it a peps, and yeah, so you have a lot of little touches of colors here and there, and it's a very beautiful colorway. These are all the bases. This is BFL, this is Raffine fingering, this is BFL and silk, which is absolutely gorgeous, and this is MCN. And for the companion colorway, I decided to base it. It's not really contrasting. It's really more a companion colorway. And I decided to base it on one pony, which is one of my favorite when I was a kid. Felt like a real friend to me. Her name is Parasol, and she's a beauty, and she's so, yeah, she has this pose. I think this pose of a pony is so, I don't know how to say it. It's like, it's not soft, but it's not soft, sweet. It's so sweet. She's so sweet. So this is the colorway that I dyed inspired by her and her rainbow mane and tail. And this is Parasol. And what I love about those colorways are they're so summer inspired as well. They're just perfect for the season and for summer vibes and summer knitting. So this is Parasol on MCN. This is Parasol on extra fine fingering. This is on BFL. Beautiful lurex again. Lurex is such a perfect base for those colorways. I might just pick them, both lurex skeins, for myself. And this is on BFL and silk. And so this is a colorway for this month. I hope you love it. Both colorways are available in the shop as pre-orders. The pre-order turnaround is 4 weeks, and that's it. Okay, and now for the project. So you might have noticed that I'm wearing the sweater that I was finishing last week, so it's finished. I'm very happy to report that it's absolutely cool. I'm wearing it with a very high-waisted jeans, pair of jeans. It's very crop, so I decided to wear it with something underneath because I was so cold. It's very cold these days in Normandy. I love it. It's the Love Knot sweater, but I decided to do it with a wider neck and short sleeves, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It's the perfect layering piece, and the fit is great. It's size M. So I'm very happy about it. I'm happy how it sits on the shoulders, and I'm just super happy about it. So the colorway is Lueur, And I think I'm going to cast another one because I feel like it's natural to have a love note on the needles. I think it's such a great pattern, so yeah, I really love it. In terms of projects, I'm still making slow progress on this piece. So that's a broadleaf sweater by Woolen Pine, and that's the back. Okay, it's going to be worn like this. So slow progress, because actually I was feeling like knitting something very simple, you know, very straightforward, no brain involved, and I had a difficult time finding the right pattern to do that. Fortunately, I had something already on the needle that I had completely forgotten about. It's the Habitation Throw by Ellen Stewart, curious and handmade. And I had knitted this bit, and because I had decided to knit it out of all the colorways of my Sock Knitters Almanac, starting with the very first one, which is Nuit d'Hiver, January 2021. And so I decided I would use each and every colorway of each month since January 2021 in that pattern, which is the absolutely perfect knitting project when you are tired and not wishing to use your brain to, you know, knit. Everything I had going on apart from this was either involving techniques that I am not very at ease with, like crochet or stranded knitting, or things that are a bit too complicated just to pick up without using your brain first, just to get back into the pattern, like brioche. Actually, brioche is quite easy. This one, I know it by heart, but I had a needle broken, so didn't want to, was too much energy to put back a needle. I was like, it was that level of exhaustion, guys, okay? And then lace, out of the question. I don't have a lace brain right now. I have a garter stitch brain right now, and that's it. And eyelet, that's all I can manage for the time being. But yeah, I'm very happy about this one. Quite a lot of car. We are driving around quite a bit, so it's perfect to get with me in the car. And that's it for this week, guys. We'll say goodbye. We'll see each other next week. Okay, so you take care. Happy knitting, happy whatever you're doing, and I'll be so happy to see you next week for episode 20. Bye, guys.